Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our flight into another expression in Chinese. Yesterday we talked about 鸡犬不宁. The 鸡 and the 犬, domestic animal, symbolize the domestic servants or domestic members in your household. And when they are not at ease, they're not in sync or not in conflict, or the external environment are not stable or something, they become not in harmony, then that's the status is describing, not really about chickens and dogs. Today we continue with 宁 in 息事宁人. 息事宁人 is often used in Chinese, describing situation when you try to resolve with most often monetary payment to kind of reach a conclusion before it goes to court or before things go out of proportion to create more damage or it's harder to manage. So 息事宁人 is kind of like an early stage, like under of a bad situation. Okay, so we have a 息事宁人. 息 top and bottom structure. The top is a self-referral. It means self that comes from this nose symbol. Okay, so this portion is the nose bridge, and the two stacked up vertical lines are, horizontal lines, but stacked up vertically. That is the nostril. So a lot of times Chinese do have like eyes and the nose stacking up to save space. So, but the importance is there are two of them, right? And that because nose is the center of the face. So oftentimes we are self-referral or self-pointer will point to the nose. So that eventually become a self-referral. And you can see here is a shelf, is not self. Let me continue. So the bottom is the heart symbol that made of a chamber with the input tube, output tube, and the bottom tube that's to power the heart organ itself. So this heart symbol paired with nose symbol was the misconception or ancient understanding of how the breathing system works. That's from the nose to the heart. Location or direction wise, it seems to be correct, but it's definitely not the heart organ, right? It's the lung. But back then people thought that's the heart that is going to, in a way, maybe it's true as well, because you breathe in your fresh oxygen are going to get into your bloodstream and supply all your organs, including your heart. So that nose heart connection probably was true in a sense. And nose heart connection also is true that if you control your breathing, if you find yourself in stress and control your breathing, slowing it down, and then your heartbeat will eventually slow down as well. So there is such a nose heart connection as well. Probably that's more observable than cut a person up to see what's inside. And especially this is about detecting how the air flow, and you can only detect that when somebody is still alive, right? So that's probably ancient technology is undetectable. You can cut up a corpse, but corpse doesn't breathe. You cannot really observe where that air goes to, right? Well, I guess in a way you can. You cannot see the air, but you can kind of find out the tunnel where the tunnel from the nose all the way go into, right? Anyways, that's the ancient understanding of the breathing system. So breathing, besides its origin of breathing, it got extended into through breathing, it's become like at peace or ease, kind of like this ning concept. We have 作息, 做 means go into action, take action, and the 息 means at rest, no action. So the 息 here definitely means take a breath, or like take your time to breathe instead of work. So that breathing itself becomes like no working, a downtime. And then that means like stop doing something, rest. And then when it paired with 事, which means things, in this here I translate as a case. So it's about something, some case, some situation instead of people, right? So when it paired with things, then I would translate it as shelf, like put it on the shelf, not discussing it, not processing it right now. So that's kind of 息, it becomes, instead of a person taking a rest or breath, it talks about the things, we're taking a break from it, we're pausing it, we're not processing it. So that's the 息 here. And here is the same structure of pairing a verb with a noun, action or object, instead of a 息宁是人, right? We got a 息事宁人 paired immediately. So as if this is 息, you act on the 事 only, and the 宁 you act on 人 only, but not necessarily true. Sometimes this pairing, maybe, I mean, it gotta work in this way, right? 息 can be 人, take a break, take a breather, and rest from processing something. But here it can also pair with 事. And 宁, I guess you can use that on 事 as well instead of 人. So 息事宁人 here simply is this pairing of 息 and 宁 means stop, pause, or ease something. And 事 and 人 means two kinds of things, or two aspects about things. So one is the thing, the affair or the case at hand you need to handle, and the other aspect is the people involved in this case. So that's a kind of, you can, I guess, imagine it as like a car accident or something. You may choose to pay out of pocket so that your insurance company never get to notice this, something like that. But maybe that's not the best practice. But that gives you a sense of 事 is the accident, but 人, the person involved in there, the drivers in there, is the 人 part. And when something happen or accident happen, most often it involves a person, right? So you have to put at ease both the 事 and the 人. Enough of that. And the 事 simply is this hand, 3-finger hand symbol. It's holding something, right? And the top portion, this oval shape circle with this up-tilted concave shape on top of this oval is a super abstraction of government official, because they have special headgear that looks like this, that sort of lend a visual authority or easy identifier of, okay, they are the person in charge here. And according to their ranks, right, different hats means different power, authority on something. So this is a type of kind of generic or abstracted visual of a person in charge, that wearing a sort of hat, kind of a uniform person, right? So it's a government official. And this government official with the hand means doing something. So government official processing, handling something, that's considered 事. That's the kind of a case, I guess. It would have a case number, that kind of case. Registered with the government, something like that, right? Okay, so you shelf that case so that it's not being processed, right? It has a pause button on there. And then 宁, we talked about last time is this kind of self-contained hexagon shape. It's contained, but you can see the edges, outward pointing edges. So I visualize that as not only, as some scholars said, is a container, but I visualize that as a containing of a person's temperament, or flares in general. Don't get yourself go off to contain your internal turmoil inside. So that's the kind of a piece. Make yourself self-contained, self-reserved. And Ren is this two-leg symbol that looks almost like English letter R. It's a little bit stylized to add it a little bit more rich visual and dimension over there, and also probably visually it's stabilized. Then this is like super symmetrical and simplified, streamlined, and this with a little bit curve. It's almost like the left side, the kind of straight line, you can view it as a male, and the right side with a little bit curve as female. And so either gender, this one is a generic, ungendered, human, two-leg standing human being figure. So 息事宁人, again, in short, that means you try to quiet things, to kind of downgrade or downscale or de-escalate. Probably that's a better translation than what I put in quiet. It's not totally silent people, but I mean, maybe the goal is to keep people involved there, not further complain or pursue further of resolution of whatever the case or accident happened over there. You try to quiet people, appease people, but definitely you try to de-escalate and to come to agreement so that it's contained before it gets further spread out, become a major like a PR event if it's for some company situation. So I'm using an abstract 3D generated, computer generated 3D image to show this kind of a rippling effect. And it's irregular, but at the same time, it's kind of having a border there. So it's kind of a ning. It's even if it's a hexagon, it got things inside, or like energy source, turbulence, things that can go off, right? If out of the boundary. But here the purpose is to quiet things, to calm down things so that things don't go further, like internally boiling. Instead, remove the energy. So this is like however method people use over there, like negotiate by talking or by like paying to compensate, however way is to de-escalate. De-escalate. Okay. Catching the currency of thinking by one word a day with Sophie. See you another day.